This is an equivalent value question. Basically, we're asked to construct an equivalent value equation with 3 or 4 dated values. First of all, you borrow $1,500. Now you have to give the money back in 3 equal installments, and the 3 equal is important because we can call each installment X because we know it's the same, and we have a final payment of $400. The dates of the payments are given, and we notice that the focal date is September the 30th. That's very important information because we must construct the equivalent value equation based on that focal date. That's why it's called a focal date. We know that the interest is 6.75%. Here I've constructed a timeline of what is happening. We borrow the money and then we repay it X, 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 and finally on the focal date $400. We need to calculate the number of days between each event and the focal date. So for example, there are 213 days between the 1st of March and September the 30th, and so on. This is very important. Remember, everything has to go from the focal date. Now here's the equivalent value equation which I've constructed here. Let's have a look at that. Notice that the focal date is later in time than each of those events, the 4 events. It's later, therefore we use the future value equation. So S equals P 1 plus RT. The first term was when you borrowed the money on the 1st of March. There was the principal, you borrowed $1,500, P, 1 plus, and then R, there's the rate, times 213, was 213 days. We need to convert to years by dividing by 365. That's the left-hand side of the equation. That is what you borrowed. That's what came in. What goes out in terms of your repayments? Each of the 3 equal repayments we call X. So there are 3 terms involving X, matching up with the 3 dates, April the 30th, June the 20th, and August the 10th. These 3 equations with X in are identical except for the number of days, the time, 153, 102, and 51 days. The final term, $400, has no interest factor attached to it. That's because the $400 is paid exactly on the focal date. Therefore, there is no interest attached to it. We can multiply out the equations, and then we find that the equivalent equation here is in terms of X. So we have on the left-hand side the future value of the money that you borrowed, and then your repayments, 1, 2, 3, in terms of X, plus your final payment of $400. We can now simplify this equation. First of all, subtract 400 from both sides, so that gives us 1159.09. Thirdly, because these 3 terms are all in terms of X, we can just add them together. So that leaves us with 3.05690x. Divide through by x, so divide through by 3.05690 to find x, and so x is 379.21. So you would repay the loan by 3 equal repayments of 379.21 plus a final payment of $400. Thank you.